Hello everyone, Jennifer Walker, your business alignment coach. And I have a question for you. How are you showing up today? How are you showing up daily? How are you showing up all the time in your business, in your life? How are you showing up? What do I mean by that? I don't mean like, how are you showing up like I took a car to get here. How are you showing up means how intentional are you being with how you show up to any given situation, any given moment, any given experience in your life. And I know that sounds kind of exhausting. Like if you were to think about every single time that you were entering into a new scenario, a new situation, a new experience with someone, and then thinking about it ahead of time, like, how am I going to show up? Like, it could be a little bit exhausting, right? But if you think about it one step at a time, one moment at a time, it feels a little less overwhelming. And, I think it's important that we show up in business, and when you take it a little bit further back, you think about how you show up for your clients, how you show up for if you have an employee, employees, plural. How are you showing up? And it's easier to take it like that. So this morning, this has nothing to do with my business, but bear with me. I went to get some blood tests done. And this is my third attempt to get these particular blood tests done because a whole bunch of different situations occurred. They have had two of their locations closed down completely. So they have a lot of people showing up looking for tests to get done, and they're only one location instead of 3 locations. So Friday I tried, I was like, this is too long. It was my first go. Yesterday I tried, not knowing that the other location had closed, and then I was like, okay, fine, it's gonna be today. And I showed up and there was a massive line. There was already a huge line in front of me, and as we were waiting for them to even open, the line just got longer and longer and longer. Have you been there? Like, raise a hand. Like, you're just watching this line get bigger, and it's not for like Disneyland or anything like that. It's to get blood tests done. So not, woohoo, like, no, not fun. And while I was there, I thought about yesterday. And I was on my phone, I was scrolling, you're standing, you're waiting. And I realized I was being really closed to the people around me, which is a really easy thing to do right now, to be closed to the people around you. I realized that I was not being intentional and present in the moment. So what I chose to do is I put my phone away. I had brought a book, I decided not to, and I just stood and I absorbed the moment. And conversations started to break out as soon as I did that. And I wasn't even involved in the conversations at first. The energy of me putting my phone away, not taking out my book, almost seemed to ripple out into the people around me. It was really interesting to observe. And I started to join in the conversation. And, even though getting blood tests is not fun, for me, what I intentionally did was to raise the vibration of the people around me. So I started that immediately by putting that stuff away, but then I started to make, gentle commentary to the people around me. We started to have laughs, some chuckles. When we got to the point where I had moved up enough to get onto a chair, I chose not to take the chair because I could see a lot of people struggling to stand. And even if one person down the line could have it instead of me, I sat on the ground. I sat on the ground. I did that. And I was really as pleasant as I could be. You can't see when you're there. But I was like, really just trying to radiate pleasantries to the woman who was so efficient. Her name was Rose. I asked her name. So efficient. And I brought that energy up for her. And by the time I made it in, she was extra attentive to me and everybody else. But also to me, I got the name of the lady doing my blood test. I talked to her. I held space for her because obviously, You know, as much as it's not fun for me waiting in line for blood tests, it's really not fun for her having people who are stressed out about waiting in line one after another, after another, after another. And I expressed to her gratitude. Gratitude for her presence there, gratitude for her still taking the time to make sure all my questions were answered. I apparently have difficult veins. So I wanted her to feel good about the experience. I wanted to feel good about the experience. And in doing so, I'm hoping and I believe that the same ripple that happened to me while I was in line will ripple out through each person I interacted with into the rest of their days. So the lady who was the administrator who was getting us all ready, the lady who took my blood, all the people who were in line who actually like waved goodbye to me as I was leaving. One lady said, "Thanks for the laughs." Like a lady who was probably 10, 15 people behind me, but because of the line actually wrapped around the hallway, that's how long this line was, like said thank you to me. And I know that she's going to go into the rest of her day showing up in a different way. And whether or not she's conscious of it, she's going to show up in a different way. So I want to know how you have shown up today. If you know, if you feel like sharing, that would be great. Put it in the comments below. How have you shown up today? How have you shown up this week? And more specifically, how have you shown up for yourself? We can show up for other people, you know, and that's great, but it's really important to show up for yourself first. Because if you don't do it first, you can't wholly show up for the people around you. And it's important that your cup has enough in it so that you've shown up for yourself. And the way that I showed up for myself today was to be present in the moment. Instead of feeling frazzled, instead of looking at the time, waiting for the time to go by, instead of reading my book and like closing myself off to the experience around me, I showed up for myself, and what that did was have a ripple effect to the people around me. So when you show up for yourself, that's what can happen. That's the magic of showing up for yourself. My mentor says what you do for you, you do for me. And it's so true. When you take care of yourself, you're able to take care of more people and more things and more energy. Your business itself is energy. So when you are showing up for yourself, you have more energy to show up for your business. Does that make sense? Thumbs up, anybody? The ability to do that is not always there for us. Excuse me, is not always there for us. So that's what I would encourage you to do today if you haven't already. Just sit. Actually, let's do it now together. Sit. I did this earlier and it was great. Sit. If you want to, close your eyes. Take 3 deep breaths just for you. Once you're done your 3rd breath, just take a second to feel in your body. Is there anything that you need right now for you? Are there any parts of your body that are cold? That are hot? That feel dry? Is the inside of your mouth dry? Do you need some water? Just explore through your physical being and just see. Do I need anything right now? Am I hungry? Do I just need to breathe deeper? Get some more oxygen? Just sit with it for a bit. When you're ready, wiggle your toes and your fingers a bit and gently flutter open your eyes. And that was what, 60 seconds? Maybe? If you can do that for yourself once a day and make that one act at a time how you're going to show up for yourself, you'll see a difference. You will. And if you do try it, let me know how it went. Were you hungry? I'm hungry. I gotta go eat now. So that's it. How are you showing up for yourself? I also want to thank Natalie Bedard, I want to say, who showed up in my group last week and did a Facebook Live. So if you don't know, in my free Facebook group, Align Your Business with Jennifer Walker, every Wednesday there's an open call to go live and practice your live and introduce yourself and feel more comfortable with your visibility. And that's what Natalie did last week. And she went live and she talked about showing up. And the theme has carried over for me this week. And I hope that it will make a difference in your week as well. How are you going to show up for yourself? Thanks for joining in, and we'll talk to you next time.